So you got anterior pelvic tilt. You better be stretching those hip flexors. But what about strengthening them? What's up, guys? It's Josh from Upright Health, where we help you think right, move right, and feel right. If you have anterior pelvic tilt and you're searching for a way to fix it, be sure to check out the description box where we have free exclusive videos on fixing anterior pelvic tilt. In today's video, I'm going to discuss a certain case study with a client who had an interesting situation with their hips. Now, this client has issues with anterior pelvic tilt, and the front of the hip was just always very stiff and very tight. So, of course, we implemented a lot of hip flexor stretching. Now, we saw minor improvements in the hip flexor tightness, but nothing that was very long lasting. So what we decided to implement was some hip flexor strengthening exercises. Now, after doing this for a couple weeks, his hips really started to open up and to lose that stiffness and that tightness that was going on in the front of the hip. Now, this is something that we see more and more here at Upright Health, is when the muscle is tight and stiff, it is not necessarily strong. There's a good chance that that muscle is weak too. So a combination of stretching the muscle and strengthening it just tends to restore function to that muscle. And then a lot of the time you lose that feeling of tightness. So with this client, we started with a lot of kneeling hip flexor stretch just to start to try to break open this front of the hip here. Once we kind of got everything we could from there, we switched to more intense hip flexor stretching where we're more so in lunge stretch, even doing things like this with just really trying to open this area up. And after you do the stretch, okay, this feels pretty good, but then an hour later in the day, I'm just back to feeling really stiff, and we couldn't get anything to stick. So we started implementing some hip flexor strength. Really simple things like this right here, getting my hip into in-range flexion and then doing some contractions here, right? A little bit of this as well, picking up the leg, straightening out, just different variations of trying to strengthen this muscle as well. All of a sudden, this openness that we feel in the hips is starting to stick and it's not tightening up later in the day. In figuring out your hip stiffness, this can be a very important thing to consider, not just stretching a muscle that feels tight, but also strengthening it as well. And this doesn't just apply to the hip flexors. This applies to all the muscles in your body. So if you're looking for specific exercises and stretches to help you correct your anterior pelvic tilt, make sure to sign up for the free exclusive videos in the description box. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Upright Health for more great content in the future. Remember, pain sucks, life shouldn't.